Hello students, welcome back to osteology classes. Today's topic is skeleton of foot. So here is the image showing the skeleton of foot where we can see the tarsal bones. So these bones are called as tarsal bones. There are 7 tarsal bones. Anterior to the tarsal bones is metatarsals. And the bones which are present within the toes are called as phalanges. So for every toe there is a proximal phalanx, middle and distal. For great toe we have got proximal and distal phalanx. So these are the bones forming the skeleton of foot. Starting with the tarsal bones, these tarsal bones are short bones which together forms the tarsus, and they are arranged in 3 rows. The proximal row consists of talus and calcaneus. So this is talus and the heel bone is calcaneus. The middle row consists of a bone called as navicular. So the bone where the head of the talus articulates is navicular, and the distal row consists of a large cuboid. So this is the lateral view of the skeleton. So from lateral side we can see cuboid, and there are 3 cuneiform bones which are present on the medial side and well appreciated on the medial side. These 3 bones are called as cuneiform. So the cuneiforms are lateral, intermediate and medial cuneiform bones. So starting with our heel bone calcaneus, the calcaneus is the largest and most proximal bone. The calcaneus is not only the largest, it is the strongest bone of the foot, and it is situated below the talus and it extends behind it. So posteriorly it goes beyond the talus. And this posterior 1/3 of the calcaneus, if you see, it is rough and it is covered by a fibrofatty tissue. And there is a tendon which attaches to the posterior part of the calcaneus. So we see the insertion of tendocalcaneus, which is a conjoined tendon of gastrocnemius and soleus. So tendocalcaneus is a conjoined tendon. Gastrocnemius and soleus, they both are the calf muscles which are present in the posterior compartment of the leg, and these 2 muscles together get inserted as tendocalcaneus. So between the tendocalcaneus and the posterior surface of the calcaneum there is a fibrofatty tissue. So this part is related to fibrofatty tissue. So that is, and a calcaneal fracture, it occurs when a person falls on his heels from a considerable height. So the calcaneum breaks into number of pieces and the fracture lines usually run vertically. So that is about the calcaneal fracture. And calcaneal spur, that is the overgrowth of the calcaneum due to inflammation of plantar fascia. So plantar fasciitis, if it is prolonged for a longer time, there can be a chance of formation of a osteocyte, that is overgrowth of the calcaneum, called as calcaneal spur. So these 2 are the clinical aspects of calcaneum. So the talus is the second largest bone of the foot, situated on the upper surface of the anterior 2/3 of the calcaneus, and it forms a connecting link between the bones of the foot and the leg. So it takes part in the formation of ankle joint, and below the talus the joints are called as subtalar joints. So it participates in the formation of 3 joints: ankle joint, which is called talocrural joint, talocalcaneal joint, which is otherwise called subtalar joint, and anteriorly the talus articulates with the navicular bone to form talonavicular joint. So here we can see this is the talonavicular joint, and above it forms ankle joint, which is called talocrural joint also, and below the talus, this part which articulates with the calcaneum, this joint is the subtalar joint. So it takes part in the 3 joints. So next one about the clinical correlation. So it sometimes occurs due to forceful dorsiflexion of the foot. So the arteries supplying the talus enter through the front part of the neck and pass through the backward. So the arteries from here, they enter like this, they go towards the posterior side of the talus. So if there is a fracture in the neck of the talus, what happens? So the posterior part of the talus, there won't be any blood supply, resulting delayed union or necrosis of the posterior segment of the talus. The next bone is the boat-shaped bone, which is called as navicular. Navicular means boat-like, where it articulates with the head of talus to form talo-navicular joint. So in lateral aspect, we can see the cuboid. Cuboid is a cubical in shape. So this is the large cuboid one, which is cubical in shape, and it is front and the lateral part to the calcaneum. So it is in front of the calcaneum, and it articulates with the calcaneum to form calcaneo-cuboid joint, and anteriorly it articulates with the metatarsal bones. There are 3 small wedge-shaped bones which are arranged from side to side in front of the navicular are cuneiform bones. So the cuneiforms are medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform and lateral cuneiform. And there are metatarsals. There are 5 metatarsals. These metatarsals are miniature long bones, and they are numbered from medial to lateral, that is from great toe to lateral. So here is the first one. This is second, third, fourth, and this is the 5th metatarsal bone. So they are numbered from medial to lateral, and each metatarsal, if we see, it has got a head, shaft and a base. Clinical aspect of these metatarsals: fracture of the tuberosity, that is the styloid process of the metatarsal, 5th metatarsal. So here is the tuberosity, which is present in the lower end. This projection is called as the styloid process or tuberosity of the 5th metatarsal bone. So the fracture of this part is usually occurs due to the forced inversion of the foot, and when the tendon of peroneus brevis pulls the styloid process, leading to avulsion fracture. So this fracture is also called as Jones fracture, after the name of an orthopedic surgeon, Sir Robert Jones, who himself sustained this fracture. Next fracture is the March fracture. It is typically occurs in the shaft or the neck of the 2nd, 3rd metatarsals. So you can see here, this is 2nd and 3rd metatarsal bones. So it is occurs along the shaft or the neck of the 2nd. See somewhere here, shaft or the neck. 2nd and 3rd metatarsal bones. This fracture, that is March fracture, it is because of march past by the shoulders. Due to aggressive prolonged march past of the shoulders, it may result in the fracture of neck and the shaft of 2nd and 3rd metatarsal bones. Talking about the phalanges, phalangeal bones are the miniature long bones, and they are 14 in number in each foot. 2 for the great toe. So we can see 2 for the great toe and 3 for each toe. 1, 2 and 3 for each toe. Totally there are 14 phalanges. So this completes the skeleton of foot, a basic idea about the skeleton of foot, names of the tarsal bones, metatarsals, and some of the important clinical aspects of these bones. Thank you.